The news of David Maraga being Ruto's project is being received with mixed reactions, because I have a good number of Kenyans who believe in David Maraga, and now learning that David Maraga might be Ruto's project, it is not settling well with him. So blogger Maverick Aoko posted that Maraga's emissaries were at the current residence yesterday night. They had a meeting with the current DP Kithure Kindiki. So this is what blogger Maverick Aoko shared on her X platform. Maraga's emissaries have just left Kindiki's official residence in Karen. Time clocked out 1:47 a.m. I refused to admit Elder Maraga is a project until Harvey of Juris Pesa was given the assignment to sell him. Been wondering, huyu Maraga Ruto alipea kazi juzi. So according to Maverick Aoko is that, or according to many people believed that David Maraga is an independent mind until recently. I think in the last 3 or 2 weeks or so, we have Nelson Harvey, who has been on social media campaigning and fronting David Maraga. It was like David Maraga is the best candidate. David Maraga should have this as a deputy president. David Maraga this, David Maraga that. And people started questioning, why is Ruto's man selling David Maraga? Why is Nelson Harvey, who is Ruto's man, telling us about David Maraga? What is not happening here? What is going on here? So now, Maverick Aoko is revealing that a meeting happened yesterday at Karen residence, and Fred and David Maraga's people were there. Of course, we don't know the details of what was discussed. Of course, it is all about 2027 politics. Now, if you ask me, I want to doubt these claims by Maverick Aoko. But then again, my mind is telling me a different story. Now, what you really need to understand is this. Fred Matiang'i has also been mentioned as one of the 2027 presidential candidates. And then we have David Maraga. The current discussion happening is the people from the South Nyanza, and we're talking about the Kisses, want to have one man as their regional kingpin, one man between Fred Matiang'i and David Maraga as their kingpin. And now here is where my mind is telling me a different story. Now, one of these two, if not Maraga, then it is Matiang'i, will be a project. You see, the current regime will not want, because Raila Odinga was in Kisii the other day and he was heckled, and that sent a message that the Kisii people are telling a different story. The Kisii people are not willing and ready to back Raila Odinga. Remember, the Kisiis have been backing Raila Odinga since way back, since 2002, 2007, 2013, 2017. All these years that Raila Odinga has been running for a presidency, the Kisii people have been backing Raila Odinga until recently. The Kisii people have never heckled Raila Odinga until recently, when he was attending that march at Gusii Stadium, where he was heckled. And now the current regime, and I'm talking about Ruto and these people, realize that, wait a minute, there is a story coming up here. The Kisii people want to be independent, and William Ruto knows that. Now they have made a handshake with Raila Odinga. Of course, people are now are not backing Raila Odinga because of this the coalition, because of this broad-based government thing. Now, what next? Should I sit back and wait for Kisii to put all their votes in one basket? Of course. Of course, Ruto is not willing to do so. Of course, Ruto cannot sit and watch you and watch the kisses going to vote one person. He is not going to let that happen. And now we are talking about Fred Matiang'i and David Maraga. Now you have to ask yourself one question: between these two people, who will be there to spoil the votes of Kisii people? Who is there to ensure that the Kisiis are not putting their votes in one basket? This is the question you must ask yourself. Because even if I want to deny that David Maraga is not Ruto's project, even if I want to deny that perhaps Fred Matiang'i is not Ruto's project, then who is Ruto's project? Remember, a project is somebody who is so influential. When we talk about influence, when we talk about kisses and influence, there are only two names that are coming up, and that is David Maraga and Fred Matiang'i. And between these two, the government of the day must ensure that one of them are spoiled for another. It is not a question that this is something obvious. This is something that happens in politics often. So this is something that should not come as something new. This is something that has been happening in politics. Even the recent Central Region tour, Ruto is not going to Central Region because he wants 100% votes of the people from Mount Kenya. No, Ruto is going there to ensure that the 100% of Mount Kenya, the people from Mount Kenya region, are not voting in one basket. So he's just trying to ensure that at least he gets, even if it is 20%, even if it is 30%. That is what Ruto was thinking about when he was preparing that Mount Kenya tour. Now, he knows that the Kisiis have a good number of votes, and he's not going to let, despite everything, with everything that is happening, with the people of the central people telling Ruto that sisi tumekutoka and all that, Ruto will have now to look for votes from other regions that he was not so keen about maybe the previous elections. Now, we're talking about Kisiis. He's not going to ignore that. He's not going to ignore the people of South Nyanza. So between these two, even if I don't want to believe, even if my mind is telling me otherwise, even if people are saying otherwise, I want to believe that between these two, there is one who is fronted by the government. This is what my mind is telling me, and I want to believe that I am correct. Between these two, if indeed these two people will be on the ballot going for a president seat, then one of them is a project. I don't know how you're going to figure it out, but I know 100% sure that if these two Kisiis are going to vie for president, then one of them is a project. Is David Maraga a project? It can happen. It can happen. Remember that David Maraga was given a state job by President William Ruto. Is he willing to betray Ruto right now? These are some of the questions that we must ask ourselves. David Maraga has been working for Ruto. David Maraga has been there in Ruto's government. So is David Maraga going to ignore Ruto now? Is David Maraga now going to go against Ruto now? These are some of the questions that we must ask ourselves. And this is where I say that I believe that even if the majority are not believing, even if people are now dismissing this as just a mere propaganda, I want to believe that there is no way Fred Matiang'i and David Maraga are going for a top seat. People from the same region, one of them has to be the project. Who is the project in this case? Maybe you can guess, but I believe that one of them is a project. Can Matiang'i be a Ruto's project? I don't think so. I don't think that Matiang'i can be Ruto's project. You see, Matiang'i has been so linked with Uhuru Kenyatta. Matiang'i, even when there were this discussion coming about Fred Matiang'i and presidency, the name of the person who was tagged along was Uhuru Kenyatta. Is Uhuru Kenyatta with Ruto speaking one language? I think I will beg to differ, and I believe that for now, even if they say that politics is in Kenya, we talk about politics. I believe that Ruto, Uhuru Kenyatta, as at now, no, these are people who are not speaking one language. And if Uhuru Kenyatta is fronting Fred Matiang'i, then I want to believe that Ruto is fronting David Maraga. You might dismiss this, but our politics has proven to us that in this politics, you don't have to sleep while both your eyes closed. You have to be like pretend to sleep while seeing what is happening. So our politics, we know it is not something is a politics of a sweat and blood. People willing to do a lot, people willing to do extra, people willing to do extremely, to go extreme just to ensure that they win that. So if it happens that Fred Matiang'i, or if it happens that David Maraga is Ruto's project, then it is shocking, but not shocking. In politics, anything can happen. In politics, expect any coalition. Recently, we saw that Martha Karua and former DP Rigathi Gachagua coming together. Remember how Martha Karua has been so strong standing against any corrupt individual, but now they are working with Rigathi Gachagua. So in politics, expect anything. And in this case, I am expecting anything. If it happens that David Maraga is Ruto's project, well and good. Because our politics for so long has proven to us that anything can happen in the world of our local politics. Our politics is local, and when our politics is local, we have to go deep. You have to. They say our politics is physical. You cannot just run about politics on social media platforms. You have to meet people and all that. So I want to believe that this might be true, because we cannot have two people from same region eyeing the same seat, unless we are talking about I don't know, but I don't want to believe that it can happen. Not now, not in Kenya. Something is cooking somewhere. Time will tell. But I like the fact that information is reaching us as soon as possible. That nowadays we don't have that secret that something is being held for so long before it is released to the public. I like that the information we're getting as soon as possible. So for Fred Matiang'i and David Maraga, I want to believe 100% sure one of them is a project. Who is he? Tell me in the comment section. And that is it from me for now. Thanks for watching. This is Sophia Live.